Okay, you guys, I am so excited. There is a conference that is happening this weekend in St. George, Utah, which, if you don't know where that is, it is in the corner of Utah, down in southern Utah, about 2.5 hours away from Las Vegas. So if you drive from Vegas and you drive east, then that's where St. George is. Just to kind of give you an idea in case you're watching from other places and you don't know exactly where it is. We typically do have about people from 6 to 8 states: California, Nevada, Arizona, even Wyoming, Idaho, Colorado, and besides Utah that attend this event. So if you're like from out of state, you're like, wait, am I allowed? Can I go? Absolutely. We want you to feel free to come and be a part of this amazing day with us. We want you to join us. It is going to be so much fun. I do have some free tickets. If you're in the area you'd like to come, all you have to do is send me an email. This is my private email, tammy@hopehavenevents.com, and I can go ahead and hook you up with one. Another way to get it is to go ahead and send me a text at 435-339-0442, and I'd be happy to hook you up for that as well. But today I have a special guest speaker and a dear friend of mine, Tomasa Macapinlac. A few years ago, I didn't even know how to say her name, and she had to teach me how to pronunciate her name. And I'm so glad that she was patient with me and kept showing up and continuing to come on, because this beautiful, beautiful human being has blessed so many lives. In fact, I just have to share one moment. At the end of the day, at the Sandy Energy Healing Conference that we did earlier this year, a gentleman came up to me and he was very emotional. He had tears running down his cheeks. And he said, I want to thank you for having Tomasa come to this conference. I literally came just for her. I drove out of my way. He was there only for her. He came in and he got a session with her, and he said it was exactly what he needed. And I just want to say thank you so much to Tomasa for really helping people to align to their own soul path and their own cosmic blueprint, but also for living her own, because this is just such a beautiful thing. Now, 27 years ago, she underwent a profound health transformation herself, prompting a transition from a high-tech career to the realm of the Asian healing arts. And in 2006, she secured a National Diplomat of Asian Bodywork Therapy, and she got her own certification for that. And she fuses Chinese medicine and Jin Shin Jitsu to birth her unique, vibrant energy flow system. And for those of you who have been on her massage table, you understand it is very unique. Now, she's earned herself the title, the self-care queen. And for those of you who know Tomasa, she lives this to a T. In fact, she's very good at making sure that she does what she needs to do by going out into nature, hiking, and whatever else feels like it's calling to her soul. She is a master shamanic mentor, and she empowers individuals with self-help healing tools for pain relief and also equilibrium. She offers quite an array of options, including things like classes, which some you can take online and some are in person. She also offers workshops, retreats, digital information products, and her book also, which is called The 30 Days to a Vibrant, Healthier, Younger You. And today I've invited her to come on so that we can interview her. We've done some interviews with her in the past. This one's going to be a little bit more unique. We're going to talk about some of the stories of what she's experienced in her line of work. So it should be kind of fun. If you're out in the garden or doing some dishes or at work, this is a great opportunity for you to listen in on this fun conversation. And we invite you to join us today. All right. Thank you so much, my friend, for joining me.
Thank you for the honor of having me here today. I mean, I want to tear up at that introduction, but I just remember working on the guy at Sandy, and really it touched my heart, and I talked to him afterwards. But this is kind of like MO for me,
Yeah.
just I love watching people step into their cosmic blueprint.
Absolutely.
And that is what I'm here for. That's what I was told when I went to Peru back in 2012, and I was at a sacred site called Tantambo. I probably butchered it, but I remember that the rocks talked to me, And the rock said, Tomasa, you are here to help people find their life purpose. I'm like, what? Who am I to do that? Right. And the interesting thing is that, I'd already been a practitioner, an energy healing practitioner of about 13, 14 years. I'm trying to think, that was 2012. I started in 97, So, um, and I was like, huh? And I went out, and after I left Peru, I remember coming back and trying to do it. And I say trying to because I had all the tools in front of me, but I wasn't tuned in enough to understand that, oh, here it is, right? So I think the cosmic blueprint piece is the one that just tuned me in. And sometimes we have people in our lives that come to us and say certain things to us and tune us in. And that was happened to be my eldest child who came to the St. George conference with me in 2023 of November 2023. And you two are so funny because you're instrumental in everything. And I've been doing this for many, many years. But sometimes we need people to help us synthesize things and put it all together. And Alexis said to me, driving home from St. George, Mom, forget the headache program. Because remember, I went with the headache program and you were sending people to me and you're saying, I don't know what she has over there, but she does so much more. I'm totally being transparent here. I bombed that conference, right? And so Alexis and I are driving home. She says, Mom, you have all the keys. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Mom, I think you need to go lead with astrology. I said, huh? Because I've been doing astrology, but it was more like, okay, in a different way. I didn't integrate them all together. And Alexa's like, Mom, you have a modality that has astrology in it. And I went, oh. And so I drove home and I thought about it and everything. And I came out and I was like, I just invested all this money in this headache program to help people. And she's just like, well, you have to decide, Mom. And I came back to Layton, it was in January not last year. Well, yeah, it was last year in 2024. And I came out with everything and I've been tweaking things ever since, but it's not like it's something new. It's all just kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle together, just like I was putting the pieces of the puzzle together when I went to Peru back in 2012 and heard you are here to help people step into their life purpose. And I was given visions of people who were in my life at the time and how they need to do this and that. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right. And so it's just really fun to watch it now in a different perspective and actually live it and be it. Because the truth is that I've been evolving as a healer since 1997. And now I actually help folks step into the light worker if they're here to be. It's not always a healer either. So I just want people to know that,
Yeah. I mean, you don't say the same thing to everyone. It's very specific. It's very intuitive for each person. I know. I'm aware.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And it's just really beautiful to watch people just blossom and who have come to work with me in this past year. And one that comes to mind is, Liz. And Liz came to me. She never even came to a conference, actually, before she got a cosmic clarity session with me. She just saw one of these lives and decided, hey, I'm signing up with her. It was an intuitive hit for her because she's very, very intuitive and empathic and said, yes, I want to do more work with you. And then she was kind of pushing me to start another medicine wheel. And I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And so, and the funny thing about it, I watch her today and she's just blossoming. And we only been through one direction of the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel has 4 directions. And she is thriving in a way that I don't think she ever knew that it was going to happen. It's like she only has learned one way to actually help people to move through their stuff. And she comes back to me. And actually, just a couple of weeks ago, she did a house clearing. and then she's just moving through it. She just only had my manual on how to do a house clearing. And she came to me and she said, Tomasa, I think I'm going to do it. Somebody is trying to sell their house and I need to help them. And bam, I said, oh, okay. So I just answered all her questions. So, when people come work with me on the medicine wheel, they not only remove their blocks, but wow, they are pushing through all the stuff that puts them in the way of them being a light worker. And she's moving through it so quickly, and it's so beautiful.
You just
Um,
made me think of someone that I really needed to share this broadcast with. So I just sent her the link. I was like, you need to watch this right now. So I was like, I can't even wait. I'm so sorry that I'm not like attentive and eye contact, but I literally had to send that. Have you ever had that before? You were like, I can't
oh
even wait
yeah.
to do it
Oh
right.
yeah. I got to tell somebody about this because they need to hear this. They need to be on this.
Well, they've been asking me specifically if I know of anyone who can teach them more about the medicine wheel. And they help so many people in such intimate work, very close work. And I'm like, oh, they could really just benefit so much from learning from you. I personally have had a few people who you have worked with come and talk to me and let me know about what it has done for them. Is it okay if I share a story? I know you
Yes,
came
please
with some
do.
stories.
I want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, well, one of them came and, she traveled quite a distance to come to Tremonton when you taught a class in person, here at the wellness studio, which by the way, thank you for doing that because it really did. I mean, it felt good before you came, but after when you left, it just felt like
Mhm.
this place is um it's resonating with how I pictured it and how I envisioned it feeling, there. And it's kind of hard to describe because, where I'm more of a secular spiritual person versus before in like the first 40 years of my life, I was like very, very committed as a religious person. So I
Mhm.
feel like my perspective and whatnot has changed and shifted just a little bit. But it's like, I don't know how to describe it other than it's like a feeling of what I not pictured it because it's not picturing with my mind, but feeling it more with my soul, like my heart. But anyway, she came to that class and she told me, she said that was such a game changer for me. It opened up her eyes to other classes that she was interested in. It helped her be able to trust herself more and also be able to learn how to do flows for herself. And I know you taught some things because I kind of walked in on one point because I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of my day while I was foot zoning there. But
Uh,
I wish I could have attended myself, but I had foot zone appointments I was already, committed to. But as I could see, I mean, people were on the edge of their seats. They were very captivated by what they were learning, taking notes. You were up there. You were very animated, just as you always are, very much in your work. But I love the way you teach because have you ever taken a class where it's like, and I mean, no offense to anyone else, but it's like you're fighting to stay awake. It's almost like I picture the little Tom and Jerry toothpicks, with the like they're trying to stay awake, but that's not
yeah.
you at all. Like literally everybody was on the edge of their seats. And you also had people doing interactive work right there. It was very, very cool. I was like, I love
Absolutely.
her so much. You're just anyway. So yeah, my dear friend Melissa, she really was so supported and many people who were there. So thank you for the work that you do, not just for the people that you're serving in the vendor hall, but the people who
Mhm.
then take the next level. They go to your retreats and your workshops and even like sometimes people can't travel, due to sickness or health or other circumstances that are beyond their control. And you have all these other offerings that they can participate in. So I
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
love it. I mean, it's really like it's almost like you just thought of everything,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I think that, I love Melissa, and Melissa, is a gift from God, I say, because she came to me and she actually took my retreat in November of last year. And she came and she helped out in the kitchen. And so she got paid to come and cook for the
Uh,
retreats.
That's so nice.
Because she is in alignment with my way of cooking, and it's
Mhm,
all about, healthy ways of cooking, but it's not even just that. It's the energy we infuse in our cooking. I'm kind of veering off here, but this is telling you who I am because
mhm.
I'm all about energy in everything. But she infused such love in the food that everybody felt it. And I was just like, I'm bowing out of the kitchen because you're doing everything I would do it the way I would do it. So, so now she comes and she takes the medicine wheel and she cooks for us.
So cool. I love it. That's so awesome.
So I love that, she came and she talks about how it's changed her life and her family. So yes. And actually she is an animal communicator and so funny. And some of the things I teach on the medicine, well, this is supposed to be about unlock your cosmic blueprint, but these are stories that people have. They're beyond past unlock your cosmic blueprint. And that's really the truth. It's like she came and she was an animal communicator. She's taking animal communication classes. And so some of the tools I teach on the medicine wheel teach you, we call it shamanic tracking. A lot of people would call it intuitive mediumship, but shamans have their own way of showing you how to find the truth. And so she's been using it and it's been working for her just beautifully. And, and just, people using it in their personal life and they're like, Tomasa, wow, I found my husband's wallet from the methods that you taught me, just things like that. And then, another one, they still work. Some of them still work in their mainstream careers, and that's kind of shifting. They're in for a surprise because I know what it's like. I've been there taking classes and in the mainstream career, and then all of a sudden you're like, I can't do this anymore. Your soul is just screaming at you. And so one of them said to me, who was a supervisor, and said, I busted my employee lying to me because I tracked it.
Yep.
It's just things like that. It's like, oh, okay, yes, that's what happens. The muscle gets turned on, and you use it all the time in your everyday living. And I think that's what people need to understand. That it's like this is not something you just compartmentalize. It becomes your life, and just being a shaman becomes my life, and that's really the truth. It's like. People don't understand when I talk about living impeccably. And that is one of our jobs as a shaman is to be impeccable with your word, to be impeccable with life, And so it's really about living life impeccably. So when folks are out of integrity or they say some little, thing that doesn't really match, and I go, that's not cool.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you dedicated.
It's about me being impeccable with my life, and then I expect that from everyone else, right?
Mm-hmm. Reminds me of the book by Miguel, The Four Agreements, but I can't remember his name now.
Is that John Ruiz?
Yeah, that's it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So anyway, I just absolutely love this. I would love to have you share another story because you have been doing this for some time, but especially the last couple of years since you've been coming to the energy healing conferences. And I know that you had wanted to share specifically one story. Let's go ahead and get that one out.
Well, I did talk about Liz a little bit, but I think the other one is, is Brooke. You probably know Brooke. I'm excluding their last names because I haven't gotten permission, and so there's Brooke, and Brooke is one who took the class in Tremonton as well. She didn't even meet me at the Energy Healing Conference, and she was a referral from Liz, honestly. So this is how it works, right? Liz shares it with her Reiki people, right? And here's, Brooke comes and takes this class, and she's just sitting there, and she hears me just talk about the medicine wheel, and she's like, I want to know more about that. And so I'm like, okay. And so I said, let's talk about that after class. Cause I don't want to expose everybody to it. Cause some people did come for that. And so then it's like, she comes and she really pushes me. Tomasa, I want the information on the medicine. And so that's Brooke. That's Brooke's personality. I say, okay. Let's talk about this and I'll share it with you. Next thing I know, I'm in Idaho, and Brooke is like, I filled out the application. I've sent in my deposit, and it's a yes for me. I know it's a yes because I got a sign that it's a yes. And so Brooke is on the medicine wheel as well. And so the interesting about Brooke is that Brooke is in a mainstream career. And all of a sudden, she's on the medicine wheel. Not everybody takes the medicine wheel to be a shaman. Let's be honest. Some big people take the medicine wheel to move the blocks out of their way so that they can step into what they're here to be. And for her, it's like all of a sudden she comes and she says, she wants to teach Reiki, but I think it's taken a different course for her. It's still
Mhm.
there. It's going to always be there with her. But all of a sudden, she's into crystals. She's really into crystals. And
Wow.
somebody is giving up their crystal business and sold all the crystal stuff to her. And she's opening up her crystal business.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that funny how the alignment just you like planted the seeds, flow.
Everything shows up that needs to show up. When you start getting out of your own way, everything shows up as it needs to show up. And this is not something you just do overnight, by the way. I want to be
Mhm.
very clear about it because it's about really is something that you continue to live and be. We're constantly when we're stretching to the next level, you and I both can relate to this. When we're stretching to the next level, the blocks come up, right? The
Mhm.
blocks
Very
come up
true.
because I can attest for that. The blocks come up and you're like, okay, what am I moving through right now to
Yep.
get to where I need to go next to help the next level, right? And so it
Mm.
it always does that. It's like I added some more I added in some more speaking engagements. I now speak in the Bay Area a lot, where I used to be reside, and I had a
Mhm.
full practice there. Believe me, my clients there are really happy now that I'm back
I
there more
bet.
often.
I would miss you too, so I get it.
They're very happy I'm back there. I'm like, okay, you guys, I really want you to learn how to work on yourselves, but okay. And so
That's
anyway,
awesome.
I'm stretching the window here to do the next piece because adding in more speaking is like, whoa. And so I'm
Mhm.
having to take care of myself even more, like, okay, all the travel, all
Yeah.
the working with people. And so really taking it to the next level because the last time I spoke and in the Bay Area, it was like, woo, that hit me. It kind of threw me out. And so it's about me regrouping and saying, okay, what do I need to do to take care of myself? But not just take care of myself, to protect myself when I go to these places and to
Yeah, well,
take
and
it
you
to
were
the
on the
next
East
level.
Coast. You've been on the East Coast, you've been down to Arizona, you've been to California, and then you're coming back up to Utah. Like, you serve all over. Like, I don't know if other people understand. Like, you're not just in one place. You're going all over. And I love actually, I just want to comment about that because you do understand astrocartography. How do you say this word?
Astrocartography.
There we go. I have people who ask me all the time, "Do you know anybody who does that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Tomasa, she understands that very well." But I want to
So,
talk about that
yeah.
because do you mind just sharing a little
No,
bit about what
we can talk about that. We can talk about that. So let's talk about astrocartography. So, and I've had some people come to me for some astrocartography from the event, because I'll mention it and they're like, Tomasa, can you do my astrocartography? I'm like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
so there is, and I kind of want to teach a class on it because it's like I taught one of I think Chantel, she got her astrocartography done for her whole family.
That's
And she wanted to see where's the best place for her family to live. She's just going to do her and her husband, and we threw in the children. And I say we because Alexis, who you've met, my oldest child, does consult on that as well sometimes.
cool.
And so anyway, so we looked at it and we're like, you need to do the whole family. We need to see what lines up for everybody and what's good for everybody. So it ended
Mhm.
up that where they live is actually fine. The
Wow.
Southwest works for them. And
Oh,
so I mean, St. George is considered part of the Southwest. I consider it the
it
Southwest. This
is.
is the southern part of Utah, right? It's the desert.
That's true. Southwest, I guess. Yeah, there's definitely desert.
And I think they would like a change of scenery. So I go try. And it's so funny. Intuitively, I told her up front, I said, maybe they should check out Tucson. And
Mhm.
so they might be going to check out Tucson this summer, just
Cool.
because her husband's probably going to move his business. That's part of the thing. Her husband's going to move his business.
Oh,
But
well, my daughter actually just went to Tucson not that long ago. She went to Dr. Melinda Connor, the woman that I was telling you about.
yeah.
She has a place down in Tucson. It's not right in town, of course. It's out in the desert, but so
Mhm.
she just barely went down there and she did all their photos. They
Did
flew her
their,
down there
their
and
photo shoot. Uh-huh. Beautiful.
so that's really
You
cool.
didn't
Well,
go
she
with her
wanted
this time?
no, because we had just barely gone to Arizona right before. So I had just gotten back and then I think she left like maybe 3 days later or something. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, Beck
Beautiful.
says I would be interested in an astrocartography class. That's cool. That'd be way cool. Maybe
Yeah.
we should
So here's the thing with astrocartography. You know, there are locations here on the earth here where we can live. And it's not always just in the United States either.
Mhm.
Um, it has a lot to do with your least aspected planet. So I'm giving you a hint here. A lot of people think, oh, we look at these lines and it's like, you know, it's you have to do a little bit extra work with it and look at what's your least aspected planets, because what we're doing is we're activating those least aspected planets. And so there's a whole report that I run to look at that. And then and then I look at, you know, where do those specific planets lie on your astrocartography? And we look at that and it runs a line. Actually, I have one student of mine who's taken retreat from me, who's taken the first direction of the medicine wheel with me, who's been trying out different parts of her astrocartography. And so, you know, it's not always, I want to say that you feel aligned with it all the time, because New Orleans is supposed to be part of my astrocartography. I went there and Lexi's like, Mom, how'd you feel? I go, I am not into New Orleans. And part of it might be because I'm not a big city girl. You know, I'm just real clear about that. Big cities are too much for me. I'm an empath, and it's like I can't take the crowds. And Baton Rouge felt better, which was part of my astrocartography. But I would never move to the South. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
And
Really feel good.
yes, yes. So you need to go check it out. So I have a student who has been trying out different parts, and she has a line that runs through New Mexico. So I said, go check it out. I love New Mexico. You know, if you can deal with the cold, because it does get cold. I just remember arriving in Albuquerque one Christmas Eve and it's 18 degrees.
18. Yeah, my brother used to live there. I actually went through there one January. So yeah, I remember that.
And I was just like, oh no, I couldn't live there. But she went to Santa Fe. She loved it. But she asked the people, you know, she talked to the people. And so now I got to check in with her because, and I did her astrocartography a year ago, probably
Wow,
about a year ago.
that's cool.
And so she went to Colorado. So she's checking out Colorado because the same line runs through Colorado. So these
Cool.
lines run their latitude. Am I saying this right? I think they're longitude lines. So they run up and down, you know. So there are those, and there are some that intersect that are latitude lines, and we have to look at those. Those are very powerful points as well. So we look at both of them. And so we give you a bunch of suggestions, you know, what might work for you that way. Some people just say, well, where do you want to go? And then they'll look at it and they'll say yes or no, or maybe make one suggestion. But I don't do that. I kind of teach people. I'm a teacher. I
Yeah.
believe in helping people to understand things. So
Mhm.
if you're the person that just wants the big overall picture, I'm not going to be your girl. I'm going to be the one who's going to give you the details and show you how to do it
Yeah.
yourself.
Well, that's probably one of the things I love about you, because when we just started doing the conferences, it was so that people could learn how to do things for themselves. We wanted the teachers to come in and teach people. So I love that.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's important because you're empowering people then. It's not about giving them the fish, it's about teaching them how to fish. That's
mhm.
my analogy there. Would you rather learn how to fish or would you rather just be given the fish? Because that's a finite amount and it's going to run out, right? Just
Yeah.
like, you know, people come and get activations from me at the conference, and that's a finite amount. But what I do is I take the extra step and have them, hey, enroll yourself and unlock your cosmic blueprint because it's going to get you started learning
Yeah.
how to do your own activations. And
Well,
I
it's
think
very
that's important.
reasonably priced. And I mean, you make it accessible. I mean, and easy to understand. You know what I mean? You do a good job with that.
I
So
appreciate that. I because my heart is into it and I have a lot of passion. I love teaching. I'm a natural teacher. I'm a Gemini.
you are.
And I got Jupiter sitting in my third house, which is the house of communication and teaching. So I'm a very confident teacher, you
Yeah.
know.
God.
With Aries sitting in there, it's in Aries. So I know I'm saying a lot of things, but what I'm saying is that it's just part of who I am. It's the makeup. It's my cosmic blueprint, and I think that you need to understand my cosmic blueprint and where I come from. And so part of teaching and speaking is not about just sharing things with you, but it's like getting the interaction. I'm a Gemini. I get bored easily. And I know that other people can get bored easily too. So it's like, okay, how can I liven up this room to get you involved, right? Because
Yeah.
you'll just fall asleep. Ah, young, young, young. What time is it? Is it time up yet?
No, you help them so that they can retain the information so that they can actually make it applicable to their lives. That's what I like. In fact,
But I think it's important that we understand about
Mhm.
how, the mind works. So neuroplasticity is called, like how can I ingrain this in you so that you remember it? And I think that's important. And so some people are kinesthetic learners, some people are visual, some people are auditory. And so you got to appeal to all of them. That's
Well,
the truth.
that's one of the things I think that appeal to a lot of people about the conference is that it's like a create your own adventure. They get to go where they want to go. They're not like confined to one room. I know sometimes when in the past, when we've had just one class only,
Hmm.
it's just one class. You know what I mean? People want choices and options. So it's kind of nice. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of these offerings that you have, because there might be people that are watching right now that they're not going to be able to be in St. George with us this weekend. They're not, maybe they can't come. Maybe it's like somebody like Liz, right? Who they're just watching the Zoom and then sign up to be able to learn
Right.
more and work with you. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I have a couple different offerings, and I call them Unlock Your Cosmic Blueprint Conference Bundles. So there's the first bundle that includes everything, where you get a cosmic blueprint reading,
Okay.
or I call it a cosmic clarity session, because when you get your blueprint reading, you become clear as to, oh, that is me. Oh, yeah, these things happen, whatever, right? So you
Hmm.
get that. That's part of the first bundle. And then also you get a cosmic blueprint alignment activation session. I know these words are long or these titles are long, but basically it's a hands-on session to look at your chart and say, okay, I'm going to work with you this way. Let me tell you, everything's in your chart. I could listen to pulses just like I was taught, but
Mhm.
it's all sitting in your chart, believe it or not. And if it's not sitting in your chart, the transits are affecting it. The transits are where the planets are at this any given moment. Like right now, where are the planets? And those are considered transits. So they can affect us that way as well. And so the cosmic blueprint alignment activation is a hands-on, and you have to be at the conference for that one. But and then you get Unlock Your Cosmic Blueprint course. And let me tell you, that course is worth much more than I charge for it. But I want people to have access to it, to start somewhere, an entry level. And once you get started with that, then you decide you want more, and then you take it to the next level. I've had somebody already, sign up for a retreat in the fall in St. George already.
Cool.
So the thing is that bundle also includes my flagship video product that I built back in 2000 and was it 13? And that's called 30 Days to a Vibrant, Healthier, Younger You. And
Mm.
so everyone just, they use that, and if you just use that every day, you find your life to be much more in balance and centered. But Unlock Your Cosmic Blueprint gets a little bit more in depth with who you are. And it gets a little customized because you learn how to um, read your own astrology chart as well. So
That's
that is the first bundle. So you have to be at the conference for that one. Now, if you're not at the conference, I have an Unlock Your Cosmic Blueprint conference bundle without the activation. And I think I
okay.
gave you a link for that one. Hi, Brooke, by the way. I saw you. I love you, sweetheart. I talked about you a little bit.
It's so cute. So
And
does it
so,
say which ones they have to be there in person for versus not?
okay, so the one you have to be there in person for is the conference bundle. That's the overall where you get all three things. And it's an amazing deal because that is valued
That
at
is.
about over $800 and you
Yeah.
get it for $147.
Wow.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then the second one that I'm offering at the conference, because so many people have had cosmic clarity sessions with me last year at St. George. I wasn't offering Unlock Your Cosmic Blueprint yet. I wasn't even offering. And by the way, Unlock Your Cosmic Blueprint is not something new, it's something I've been teaching for a decade. It just got put in a different context. Like,
Yeah.
oh, let's just repurpose this and share it this way. And that's what happened. And so people who've had cosmic clarity sessions, they want the activation and they want the coursework. Okay. And so there's a cosmic or unlock your cosmic blueprint bundle 2 special, I believe it's called. And that's one is without the cosmic clarity session. And that's $97.
That's awesome. That is
And
seriously
then
such a good deal.
yes, and then the one that if you're not going to be at the conference, that means you can't get the activation from me, experience it from me. So that one is unlock your cosmic blueprint active unlock your cosmic blueprint conference bundle without the cosmic blueprint activation. And so those people can actually sign up for that. And it's so funny because I created that after the last Sandy because I had to turn people away. Honestly, you guys, when I have to turn people away, that hurts my heart. And I'm trying to figure out how can I help them, right? How can I help you? And there are people who want this information. I actually had a woman who's a little bit older and elderly, and she's like, she came by the table and she says, I want to take a class with her. When's she teaching a class? And
Yeah.
they're like, we had to talk to her about it because, she travels, And
Mhm.
so I'm trying to build in, whenever I come to Utah to teach a class. And so that didn't quite pan out this time, but maybe in June it will pan out because I have to be there in June for like 2 weeks. Because I have a retreat with my medicine wheel folks in Kanab, Utah. So
That's amazing. Well, and honestly, yeah, people that are even just watching now, they might want to join in, but if they're not coming to the conference, it's nice that you've made it so that they can be included too and continue. And really, those prices are so affordable. I literally have seen people that have offered courses for, $7,000, $8,000. And I'm not pointing fingers at them. I'm not even judging that at all, you know, but you've just really, really dropped the prices considerably to make it so that anyone who wants to do it can do it. So thank you.
I want
Appreciate
people to have access to it. And I think, I know that Utah is a pocket that is not aware of this modality. That is a big secret.
it.
I
Yeah.
call it a big secret because not everybody knows about it. It's not mainstream like Reiki, but
Mhm.
it is a very powerful modality
Mhm.
that can help you in many ways. I'm actually, I started this year teaching a cosmic blueprint activation calls. It's a membership. And so they get a flow every 2 weeks to do on themselves. And right
That's
now we're on flow number 9. And even
Mhm.
if you decide that you want to join it later, you can catch up and look at them yourself because there's the recordings. I just did one yesterday. And it's a lot of work for me to do it, but it's like, Tomasa, I'm so committed to it. I want people to understand this, to be able to do it for themselves. And some of the flows I have rewritten to so that it's easier for people to do it on themselves. And they can also do it on friends and family. Now, I'm not going to say that you can charge and do this yet because this is not a certification program, but it's something that you can be
Mhm.
the healer for your own family, right?
Right. And not everybody wants a certification program. Sometimes people just really want to learn it for themselves so they can work on themselves, work on their family, and have a clear understanding of what steps to take. They're not ready to, go full on out as a business. They want to do it for themselves. And so I love that you have these different offerings. Is there anything else that you'd like to close up with while we have just a little bit of time today?
I don't think so. I just say, hey, come on by. And if you want to, you know that you want to get a cosmic blueprint activation, go sign up now, and I will be scheduling people the rest of today and probably tomorrow. Somebody will be driving, and we'll figure it out as we drive tomorrow to St. George. But I will get people scheduled if you sign up today. So before I turn into slumberland tonight, I will make sure anybody who signs up today will get scheduled for Saturday. So my schedule is I only do about one session per the hour because I like
Mhm.
to have breaks. I
Mhm.
am speaking at 11 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm speaking at 11 a.m. So there won't be one doing that time. So they'll start like 8:30, 9:30, 10:15, 10:15. So I have time to go get ready to speak. And then probably at around 12:30 and then 1:30, etc. 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. I know somebody's going to try to squeeze themselves in. It always happens. That's why I put room in my schedule. So, so sign up now so that you don't come, so that I don't have to turn you away and you can get the activation.
Yeah.
The
It's so
activation is huge. And I think a lot of people, the activation itself is worth what I'm charging for the bundle. Let's be quite honest about it.
yeah, it's true.
So
It's a very, very, very reasonable deal. And Beck, thank you so much for your comments. Beck says, I can't wait to see you again. We'll be there in Layton. So that's awesome. We'll see you there in Layton.
yeah, I see Brooke. Is that Brooke? Is that Brooke who said
That
that?
one's Beck, kid.
Back. Okay. Okay, cool. I look forward to seeing you in Layton.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you guys be sure to go check out her links that we've included here in the comments. We made it easy for you to be able to jump on that. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact her directly or just come to the conference, you guys. It's going to be amazing. We do have a handful of tickets that I can do for this video. All you need to do to reach out for that is just send me a quick email. Or you can also send me a text. I'll give you the number one more time. It's 435-339-0442. All right. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you Saturday.
All right. Sounds